Welcome, everyone. We are here in Mount Manitoba, the home of NotHallOfFame.com, and of course, the sister sites, the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame, the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the United States Athletic Hall of Fame, which we are going full gear right now. This November, we will be announcing the first ever class. You can vote right now, and I encourage you to do it right now. Do it now. www.nothalloffame.com/USA. You can listen to this. You can vote at the same time, and you will be a part of history, deciding who will be part of the first ever United States Athletic Hall of Fame class. Now, I'm joined by my host.
I think Brad should be nominated to be in the United States Athletic Hall of Fame for knowing the least about any sports ever.
Listen, I know all the things about all the sports. You take the thing, you put it in the other thing, and a bunch of people on one side get very, very excited, and a bunch of people on the other side get very, very upset.
He's not wrong.
We don't want to hear about your sex life.
That's also not wrong. Okay.
Well, I'm Kirk Buchner with Brad Nelson, Andrea Tessmann. But before we go into this, if you want to just fast forward and get right to the song, go right ahead. But Andrea, I've got a vote with you.
Uh-oh, what did I do now?
Now, you know I hate to say I told you so.
No, you don't.
No, you love to say I told you so.
You revel in saying I told you so. It's just in your nature to gloat.
This is your lifeblood. You're like a vampire, and I told you so with blood.
Well, and I did, well.
Like the energy vampire, but it's gloating.
Oh, yes.
Well, this is why I'm upset, because I told you something and you forgot, which means I don't get to say I told you so.
You still told her.
I did tell her, but it's not the same. We are planning at some point in time to do the cancel pool, and it's getting very interesting already. We haven't even done it yet, but somebody—
Russell Brand's in the mid-cancel.
Russell Brand is, that would technically, I don't know if this person is canceled yet because he hasn't lost any money, so it doesn't fit our rules.
He just got demonetized on YouTube.
I'm not done yet with this. I'm talking about what I want to gloat about.
That's right. Suck Andrea dry.
Jimmy Fallon was a piece of shit a long time ago.
And I forgot. So now that he's being canceled, Kirk is gloating, but he can't gloat because I don't remember the conversation.
You know, the only thing I like about Jimmy Fallon is the fact that the Tonight Dough is the best Ben & Jerry's flavor.
The Tonight Dough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You get vanilla ice cream, you get chocolate chunks, you get I think there's some peanut butter in there. And then there's cookie dough, of course. And it's all smoothie in there, and it's really good.
And it makes one toxic taste.
The taste is good, but it laughs at its own jokes, so it's really not that funny.
Yeah, that's— oh, I knew that. I knew this was going to be the case. Man, being right, it's such a hard thing to do. However,
but you get so high on it. Like, you can literally see your eyes light up.
I do.
Vampire is satiated.
Just a hit straight to the veins.
Well, so I get so excited by that it almost drives me insane. It drives me mad. And so
they're coming to take me away.
The Funny Farm, 1966. I did not realize the song was this old.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, you picked this one.
I picked my nose too.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to ask why you picked your nose. There
was a booger.
Okay. Well, I thought that was sort of obvious, so I didn't ask it. But I think in this case, why this song?
Because it doesn't fit
anything.
It's the square peg in the round hole at that time. Novelty songs weren't really popular, like really, really popular. Other than, let's say, one that you guys touched on a long time ago, My Ding-a-Ling, was kind of like a novelty song. And Weird Al Yankovic really brought the novelty song into the spotlight. And there was a couple of other ones, like, Yellow Polka Dot Bikini was a novelty song that hit. But these were few and far between, and definitely not in 66. There was a bunch of other, more mainstream traditional songs around it that makes sense that they would have hit. This one colored outside. This one forgot there was lines and ate the crayons.
I don't think this is a new concept, though. I mean, you look at David Seville, and I mean, this directly draws from
Mhm.
his work. So I agree that it mid 60s there wasn't a ton of them, but the late 50s there certainly
A lot
were
of
quite a lot.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit out of time, but I don't think it's that odd of a.
Yeah, you got Flying Purple People Eater going on and stuff previous to this.
this went
Um,
number 3, right?
this one went, I have notes. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It was 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Well, while you're looking that up, so just
Yeah.
the whole painting the picture of 66, which might
Went
be
number 3, yes.
number 3,
Cashbox
okay.
went number 1,
Okay.
but in Canada it went number 2, UK number 4, Australia number 4, and the US number 3.
66 is it's one of those great years, I think, in music. The Beatles were at their peak. The Rolling Stones had hit. Motown was never better. And yet this song found a spot.
Climbs the charts, man. Like
Uh,
it debuted right around the 3 mark, if I'm not mistaken. It didn't last long. It was a total flash in the pan.
Mhm.
But it was one that stuck around because, anytime you hear somebody say they're coming to take me away, or, something about that, being committed or
Aha.
whatever, exactly. Somebody else knows, they're coming to take me away. They're coming to take me away. Oh, and I still remember the first time I heard it. It scratches an itch, it's a fun song.
I was a little kid when I heard that. I thought it was like the newest, coolest thing ever. And
Mhm.
Napoleon the 14th, that's our artist. What's his real name here?
His real name is
Jerry Samuels.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just recently died only a year ago, I
in
believe.
March of
Oh,
this
this
year.
year.
This year, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So kind of your one-hit wonder. Got an extra life, I think, with Dr. Demento in the 70s.
Bento brought him back in a big
Yeah.
way, which was kind of cool. He did try to release another album, and it was what was it called? Stop something the feces, and it was just pushing the envelope like crazy, and it was so wrong. Um, there we are. Where was it here? The other album was discography. Yeah, that's the only one that ever hit. But yeah, something about for God's sake, stop the feces. And it was released in 2023. No, sorry, it was re-released 2023.
Okay.
It had been he tried to release that before, and it was just there was a song about rape, there was a song about all kinds of stuff, and he was trying to push the limit. And I think the harmlessness of this one, and the relatability of, she broke up with me and now I'm going crazy was,
A different
I
kind of
think,
love song.
yeah, exactly. The other stuff he tried to put out was just, it was kind of like trying to sit through Faces of Death and also eat.
I think the other interesting thing here too, well, there's so many interesting things with this. Musically, I mean, the music behind it is about as bare bones as we get.
I don't think
Uh,
there's a single actual note of music. It's rhythm, and he's not singing. He's essentially rapping, if you want
There's
to
a
call it
snare
that.
drum, there's a kick drum, and then there's him on a 4-track or an 8-track, basically speeding it up without changing the pitch without speeding it up.
and a siren.
Yeah, and a siren, that's true.
That's pretty much it. And I guess in its simplicity, it does appeal to the younger child in me, I suppose. It did back then when I was a little kid hearing it for the first time, I think in the mid 70s. I don't remember how, because it wasn't getting any airplay at that point, nor would it be. But
Yeah, but somebody always put on a record at a party. Oh, you got to listen to this or whatever.
yeah. And it's interesting too. We see a lot of quirky songs that can still come out of nowhere. Owl City Fireflies, for example, or what's the Fox say?
Oh, I know what the Fox says.
I can't do it, but
Ring ding 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 ding.
okay.
Yeah.
This one though, you couldn't repeat it now because now we're in a very culturally sensitive area where you can't make fun of mental health of any kind.
He outright admitted when he was writing it that it was making fun of mental health and it would not receive a good reception. And he said he started writing it. He was stoned one night and just was riffing around and goofing off. And then he ran it past his buddy who thought it was funny.
Mhm.
And they worked on it a bit. And then he put it away for like 3 months at a time. It took him like 9 months to write it, even though it's simple as hell, because he outright knew that it was poking, like it was making fun of mental illness.
But
and he didn't
it's
think it would
making
do
fun
well.
of the individuals, like it's first person making fun of his own mental illness in that regard. Like the narrator is speaking to him losing his mind over being broken up with. So I don't think it's not pointing and laughing at some guy sitting in the corner and rocking himself. It's more along the lines of, I know I'm losing my mind. This is what it feels like losing my mind. This is why the pitch of the song increases and increases. I don't think it's not mocking anybody who's in the funny farm or anything like that. It uses words like the funny farm or where life is beautiful all the time, and I don't think it's mean spirited. So I don't know that it might fly still.
Well,
It's not cruel.
I think that's also why he was aware that, and it's funny we talk about mental health, right? Because mental health is a word. Yes, Jasper agrees. Are two words that weren't put together really until God, I was an adult. You never heard those terms before.
Yeah, exactly.
That so made me wonder at first. Okay, was he really thinking that, or was it something he came up after? But then, okay, he's given himself an out with the last verse. Basically, okay, the person who left him was a dog, which makes it even weirder.
And then you got the album cover with the no dog in the dog collar at the fire hydrant.
So theirs is out. It's like, okay, well, you're making fun of somebody who just is grieving over a dog. What's the matter with you?
Mm-hmm. There's nothing cruel about this. The guy, the dog left. He got broken up with, which like going into it, you're thinking he got broken up with, and he's missing this person, and they were so mean to go. And it turns out this dog probably died or ran away, one way or the other, and so he's losing it.
The dog did run away. I don't think the dog died.
Well, the dog is gone.
The dog has left the building.
Mm-hmm. So now this is his grieving process, and who hasn't been there? Who hasn't lost a pet and been pretty upset about it?
I didn't even know it was about that until we did the research on it. I missed that last verse completely.
Mm-hmm.
I think most
so did I. 100%.
So I guess I go back to sort of like how I don't know that this could be done today. I mean, we talked about the cancel pool that we're eventually going to do. The first casualty, and none of us would have picked her. It would have been Lizzo. It was one of her hits off her last album. She redid a word, "I'm a spaz," because it offended people.
Yeah, and the funny thing with the idea of the cancel pool, I don't know if we should talk about too much here before we launch it. It's just that you don't know. Like Drew Barrymore is coming up on it.
Yeah, because you don't know why or how it's going to happen.
Yeah, because it's all back behind the scenes. Now, James Corden, he's a dick. So that's not a difficult one to figure out.
Yeah, but he self-canceled himself before. It was sort of like,
yeah. But can you imagine you find out like Vanna White or Dolly Parton suddenly get caught, smacking an intern's ass at Dollywood, or, hey, let me turn that letter, says Vanna, and give somebody a little front.
Anybody actually know anything about Vanna White? Like, I'm pretty sure she's just a robot.
She is 100% a robot.
She's a very lifelike robot that wears expensive gowns. Like that's.
I'd like to buy
has
her.
She ever even said? Has she ever even said more than a couple of words? Like, I don't think she's a human being, so therefore I don't think she could be in the cancel pool because nobody knows anything about her.
True, and Dolly is an angel, so I shouldn't have even put her name in there.
Dolly is, damn you, shut your mouth for tarnishing that wonderful woman's name.
But that's the whole thing. We don't know, like, we don't see the behind the scenes stuff. Like, okay, Weinstein, no surprise. You know, that kind of a thing. But I mean, if you go and you look at all the people who have been on a jet to Epstein Island, there's some people there who
is on that.
There's a list out there.
Yeah, but is it a verified list?
Yeah, I don't know how accurate.
There's a lot of that sort of thing.
Tom Hanks is on that.
I'm not saying it's okay that people have been to Epstein Island, but there was a lot of partying that went on that didn't have anything to do with young children. Like, there was a lot of people that would be involved in these sorts of events because it was the event to go to.
Yeah, I've been to a Catholic church and I've never molested a kid.
Anyway, so I think just a list of people who have, you know, been seen. Oh, sorry about that. My my lovely dog walked past my computer cable and yanked out the power cord. So the battery died because
pause face.
Brad, if we could describe that pause face right as we were discussing Epstein Island, I don't quite know if that's sort of like, it was like half satisfied Ghislaine Maxwell.
No, it was like if you had an orgasm that you really regretted.
No, no, you know what it is? No. Okay, you ever see Brain Candy?
No, I know that look on somebody's face. You know, if they open their eyes during sex and they look at me just as things are getting good, that's the look. I know that. I've seen that look on many a person's. They're like, oh fuck.
There's a lot of hints of like guilt / satisfaction and zeroing in on some weird memory there. That's why I said brain candy, like the drug. It was the drug that just puts you in your happiest place, and you're recycling that over and over and over. I can't wait for you to watch this back.
How long did you leave that image on the screen for, you asshole?
We debated whether we should wait for you to come back or whether we talked about pause face for a minute.
About that, yeah.
Well, I'm glad I decided to sign in with my phone and not wait for my computer to restart.
Because it's still probably restarting. Oh, you bad puppy. You deserve a bone.
So, Brad, you got some final words on this?
Yeah, a little bit, actually, because you look at this guy and you figure with this song and then his other track that he was, or his other album that he tried putting out, it just, you know, you would have figured one hit wonder. But the funny thing about this guy is where Corey Samuels is that he's written for multiple artists, and he's written for multiple artists that charted high. So the guy knows what he's doing. He just didn't want to do it himself.
The video that I saw for this, I don't even know if that's a promo video or when he did it.
Yeah, he just sitting in the corner and you get distortion on the screen. That's the one.
See, now the dog's song's really about a dog, so they're really getting excited. That's why Opal pulled out the plug. That's why Jasper and Winnie are going nuts at each other right now.
Yeah, so he winds up writing, "Oh, hi, puppy. You super good puppy. You deserve so much."
Hiding in the dark.
Yeah,
I'm in the dark here.
Let me see here. Yeah, he had oh, there we go. As If I Didn't Know, with Larry Cusick, top 10 hit for Adam Wade in 61, and Shelter of Your Arms with Sammy Davis in 64.
Yeah, when I hear this song, I think of the Rat Pack.
You don't, man. You especially don't think of Sammy.
No, you do not.
So, you know, it's kind of cool that he's you know, he could structure a song, he could create a song, but what he wanted to do was this. He was a twisted individual, and so I must respect that. My hat is off.
There you go. Would you like to know what we got next?
Probably not, because you were threatening us with it.
Yeah, you were saying it was going to be bad. So, I mean, you might as well just rip the Band-Aid off now.
Okay, well, I asked this question to both of you. Who's the last person you thanked?
The last person I thanked?
Yeah, who was the last person you thanked?
I thanked my boss recently.
All right. So did you say thank you, boss? Like, how'd you say it?
Probably thanks, Paul.
Okay. Now, what if your boss was a Japanese robot?
Oh boy.
Then I would have said,
Nice.
Domo arigato.
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
And that's what we've got next week. We've got a song so bad it pretty much ended a band.
Hey, Styx had Renegade, dude.
That was before.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, I liked Mr. Roboto.
Well,
I know there's something wrong with me. I understand. And they probably should be coming to take me away.
Haha.
It's going to be a fun one. Because this I've already done a bit of like background on this one. It's a mess.
Oh, probably.
Yes.
With parts made in Japan. Secret, I got a secret.
I am the modern man.
I'm Kilroy. No idea.
Yeah.
But hey, basically, we're singing about being RoboCop, I think, before RoboCop was a thing.
That RoboCop is Citizen Kane compared to this.
Hey, RoboCop was a Verhoeven movie. You're supposed to take it as satire.
I'm just saying. With that, there's going to be a whole lot more things coming this fall here in the Buchnerverse. I'm recording. I've recorded. I don't know how many shows this summer that eventually will be coming out. Have to do another look at all the Super Bowls, the classic Super Bowls, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now I'll be recording 13 this week. Also, the classic sports review with our good friend Glenn Pulowski, who is now in New Zealand on his way to Antarctica. The last one we looked at was the Disco Demolition Night game.
Oh, well, they finally did the right thing to all those disco albums, and then people got called racist about it.
Well, they didn't get called racist at the time.
No, but looking back on it, some of it was kind of racist.
Some of it, I don't know how much of it was, but it was definitely more homophobic.
But disco sucks.
Sure. I will disagree on that. I will always say that disco knew what it was, but we didn't really look at the game so much as we looked at just the whole build up as it was sort of going on. As
one could call it a fracas.
Well,
that's a fun word to use.
They were expecting 20,000 people there. They instead got 40. They instead filled the stadium, and actually more so because people were sneaking in so that they could watch the explosion. And then after the explosion, thousands of people stormed the field.
Just to see all that disco dying at once it's kind of worth it. I don't like crowds, and that would have been nice to see.
It was an interesting thing to sort of look back. It is probably the first and only time that Glenn and I ever looked at a game without really paying a look of attention to the game.
Well, it kind of got eclipsed by that whole event because there's a lot that could be said about it.
We tried. We did our best. We did our best on that. There's a few other shows that are also coming out. There's always the weekly Hall of Fame show with Evan Nolan. Vinny Lospinuso makes his regular Hall of Fame cases for. And again, it's just been a whole lot this summer trying to get
one thing that there has been debate about between Andrea and I. You did learn. You went to school, right?
I did go to school, yes.
And you learned how to read and write.
Yes, I did.
I told you, Brad.
This surprises me. This surprises me. I know, and that's the weird thing. It has probably words in it and not just pictures, so it's got nothing for me.
Very few pictures. Yes, that is, I guess, the last thing I should promote. My wonderful book about a great man, Chavo Guerrero. You can get that Chavo Guerrero Instant Classic on Amazon. That's Chavo Guerrero Sr., not Chavo Guerrero Jr., who is
now. My birthday is coming up next month, and you could give this to somebody for my birthday. So as everybody does, they celebrate my birthday once a year, which they should, like Jesus. And, you know, you can give gifts to other people. You don't have to give them to me. That's fine. But on October the 12th, you give gifts to other people. And, you know, you give them Chavo Guerrero, instant classic, for my birthday to them.
Funny, you know, you were talking about Catholic churches earlier. I was in a Catholic church not that long ago, but it wasn't actually Jesus hung up. It was you.
You know, a lot of people get us confused, but we're very similar. He was the dude who was ripped. He had like the 8-pack hanging up there, and me, I got a little bit of paunch hanging over the loincloth.
Nice.
Well, it's
Actually,
like how Buddha gets confused with the God of Plenty a lot. Like there's the skinny Buddha, and then there's the fat Buddha.
Fat
The
Buddha
fat
is
Buddha
full of
isn't-
happiness.
He's not really Buddha. Whereas the skinny Buddha is Buddha.
Buddha.
You know they say about Fat Buddha, his girls make the rocket world go round.
Fat Buddha girls?
There you go.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get the last pun in. It didn't have
And you did.
Fair.
You did.
Fair. Yeah.
Now
Well,
you go tell your wife that, and maybe she'll love you more than me.
just got home too, so
Hi, Pauline.
yes. No, we're recording this right now, huh?
I'm sorry.
One of the shows that I recorded over the summer, Pauline just walked right by.
Mm,
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, well, it's her home.
yeah.
Well, I'm trying to describe a
Long as
football play. And I'm
close.
Let her
watching
get in there. Let her strut.
Seeger says they love to watch him strut. Well, wherever you are, wherever you may be, stay safe, everyone. The Buchnerverse bids you adieu.
Good night.
Right.